Hello, you. Yes, you, the one listening. Welcome to For the Better podcast, where you can listen to personal stories, experiences, and lessons learned about work, relationships, and life in general. Where we can delve and deep dive into issues, answer most asked questions, and tell stories about how we can thrive despite uncertainties. A platform for you to learn a thing or two and become a better version of yourself. I am Jess, always in progress. Come and listen to For the Better podcast. Hey friend, thanks for listening to For the Better podcast, where we reflect, explore, and grow through stories, insights, and real life experiences. I'm Jess, your friend and your host. Today, I want to talk about something that's been sitting quietly in my heart for a while, and maybe it's been sitting in yours too. So here it goes. Let's talk about dreams. Not just any dreams, but the kind that stretch far beyond where we are right now. The kind that feel a little scary to say out loud because they're just that big. A few weeks ago, I had an interesting conversation with one of my closest friends, my dear Vim, who lives in Canada. Shout out to her, not sure if she's listening to this podcast. But, we've settled in for the usual updates, work, families, a typical catch-up stuff. But then the conversation steered into talking about our reach for the stars dreams, I should say. I did not know specifically how we ended up with this conversation, but I told her my dream, which I have never said out loud before. And here it is. If money is never a question and never an issue, what would I want to do? I paused and took a deep breath, and I said, my Reach for the Stars dream is to run a charity foundation. One that provides homes for the elderly, one that helps orphan children go to school, that supports single mothers, that walks alongside parents who've lost children, a foundation rooted in compassion, healing, and hope. It's a big dream, yes, definitely. A dream that feels larger than life. I remember the weight of those words, each one representing a life, a story changed. It's a reach for the stars kind of dream. And honestly, my current job is nothing like that. It feels like I'm standing on one side of a river, looking across at a completely different world. And you know what? That admission, the tension between where you are right now and where you want to be is a place we all know very well. It's the gap between our current reality and our reach for the stars dreams. I'm willing to bet some of you have been there, caught between the life you have and the life you want. Painting a mural, launching a business, writing a novel, and so on and so forth. Yet here we are, working away in a cubicle in an office, or a hospital, or a classroom, quite far from that dreamland. We carry a spark inside, a vision so vivid that at times we wonder, how did I get here? And how on earth will I ever build a bridge to where I want to go? But here's what I've started to realize. Even the biggest dreams can become possible if we're willing to take the first step. And that's the most important and most difficult thing. And maybe you've got a dream too, or maybe you've lost touch with it. Or maybe you haven't found it yet. Wherever you are, I want to invite you into this with me, this conversation. Not as a perfect blueprint or map, but as a journey we can walk together. And at this point in my life, there's so many things I wanted to do outside my current job. I want to write, publish books, have valuable podcasts, to be a coach and a mentor. But this question is like, what if I or we actually chase that dream? So let's imagine for a moment that we're ready to take that dream seriously, whatever, the reach for the stars dreams you have. Not just a nice idea we think about on quiet nights, but as something we actually move towards. Perhaps the first thing we need to do is acknowledge the gap. That's the first step. Let's be honest with ourselves about where we are now and where we want to go. That moment of saying, I don't know how to do this yet. It's humbling, but it's also a powerful acknowledgement, because naming the distance doesn't make the dream smaller, it makes it so real. It gives us a starting line. And perhaps if we're really serious of actually chasing that dream, we have to break it down, because we don't have to leap from where we are now to the finish line overnight. We can't do that. And that's not how most meaningful things are built anyway. What's one small step we could take this month? For example, for me, I could sign up to volunteer with an organization doing similar work. Or maybe I or you could look into a short online class or online course, depending on what dream or what skill that dream requires. Or maybe just reach out to someone who's been down this road and say, "Hey, I'm curious. Can I learn from your story?" Just one step, then another, and then another. And I guess that's how the dream starts to take shape. And if we're also looking at what we currently have, what knowledge we've learned, and what skills we have at this point in time, and what's amazing? Having that in mind, we are probably already more equipped than we think. The skills, as I said, we built with the current job we have, whether it's managing projects or leading teams or solving problems under pressure. They're not disconnected from our dreams, because perhaps in that dream in the future, you use them, the skills you have now. So they're training, they're tools for us. We just need to reframe them. And everything we're doing now can feed into what we want to do next. That's amazing, isn't it? And here's one thing, and perhaps I know most of us are still currently working on, finding someone as mentor and someone as an ally. It is intimidating approaching someone, reaching out to people, we admire, asking for advice, opening up about a dream we're still figuring out. But I guess here's the truth. Most people who've made it a few steps ahead can remember exactly what it felt like to be just starting out. Many of them are more than willing to share what they've learned. All we have to do is probably take the first step, send them a message, ask them that question, show up and be curious and be open. I know that perhaps you and me, we don't need to have it we don't have it all figured out right? Just need to be brave enough to start. So, if you've been carrying a dream that feels too big or too far off, just like me, maybe today is a reminder that it's not impossible. Not at all. We can start small. We can build as we go. And we can keep dreaming, daring, and doing, even if it's just one step at a time. And if you haven't found your dream yet, and that could also be possible, that's okay too. Keep showing up for the things that make your heart a bit faster. Be curious, be open, and your dream might just be waiting for the right moment to reveal itself. And we are in this together, and let's keep going. Because I know a beautiful truth is that we're all built to dream bigger. Your dreams, our dreams, no matter how fantastical, can inspire and uplift people around you. They remind us that life isn't only about surviving, it's about visioning, hoping, and creating something new in the world. So yes, if you don't have a dream yet, take a moment this week to ask yourself if fear or failure weren't factors or money is not even a question. What would I choose to do with my life? Perhaps you write it down or share it with someone you trust. If you have a dream and you've paused because it feels too big, let today be the day you dust it off. Break it into actions and take one step at a time. And perhaps some of you might be wondering, what if my dream isn't meant for me? Here's a perspective that comforts me. If your dream aligns with something greater, call it purpose, call it destiny, call it God's plan, then there is a right timing for it. I'm a person of faith, and I believe there's a season to learn, a season to serve, a season to lead. You might not feel ready today, but every skill you gain, every relationship you build is part of the groundwork for future fruit. Waiting doesn't, mean stalling. It means trusting that right doors will open when you're equipped to walk through them. So here's a final thought as we wrap up today's episode. If you already have a dream, keep it alive, protect it, water it. Even if it takes time, trust it if it aligns with your purpose or even with God's plan for your life. It will unfold in the right season. And if you don't have a dream yet, that's okay too. You stay curious, stay open. Sometimes the dream finds us. We just need to be paying attention when it does. So, my friend, thanks for being here and for joining me on this journey of dreaming big. I hope our conversation today has sparked something in you, whether you're naming your first dream or reigniting one that went quiet. Until then, keep dreaming, keep planning, and keep going. The stars are within reach. We just have to lift our gaze and take that first step. You've been listening to For the Better podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, feel free to share it with a friend, and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. Thanks for being part of the journey. That is it for today. Before you go, show some love by liking this episode and following this podcast and my social media accounts. You can also send in your topic and questions if you have any. Thank you so much for listening For the Better podcast. Stay tuned for the next episodes. This has been Jess, always reminding you, just be you, and bye for now.